And now, let's have a big welcome for our final speaker of the evening, Aishah Abosamra.
Hey, Daytona. All right, so I got a question. Who here has a big voice? Let me see your hand. Okay. Who knows someone with a big voice? Okay, so I'm going to challenge your concept of that today because you see, there's a difference between being loud and having a big voice. To be loud, someone does or uses something to increase their volume. A big voice walks into the room, says hello, and everyone knows they've arrived. Now, an interesting little tidbit. A man walks in and says hello, everyone knows he's arrived. They'll say, he has a commanding presence. He has a voice that commands authority. But a woman walks in, says hello, and everyone knows she's arrived. They'll say, dang, she loud. That's my life. All right, now scientists have surmised reasons why people have bigger voices. Now, some say it's the larynx and the vibration in the back of the throat. Others say it's the diaphragm being enlarged that allows us to project our voices with little or no effort. But I tell you one thing, a person with a big voice knows they have a big voice. They didn't just wake up one morning and go, oh, what's that? Now, you would think having this my whole life, my biggest supporters would be my family and friends. Not my siblings, darlings that they are. They would love to regale me with tales of how, when other children started to speak, they said, mommy, mommy. But when you started to speak, it was mommy, mommy. Wow, you can imagine what that type of ridicule would do to a 5 or 6-year-old, right? And going to school was no better. I couldn't giggle in the back of the class with the other little girls. Because that first little chuckle that I made, even if the teacher's back was to us in the classroom, he would immediately turn around and say, Miss Thomas, to the corner. It didn't help that I was also an opinionated child, so that everything that I said sounded argumentative or disrespectful. I got older, and of course, I started thinking of boys. But they told me that boys wouldn't like me if I was opinionated or smarter than they were. It probably didn't help that when I offered those opinions, I did it in a voice deeper than theirs. So I prayed, I begged, I asked God to give me that demure personality. I wanted to sound like Tinkerbell. The best I got was laryngitis. You know what you get with a big voice and laryngitis? Somewhere between Kermit the Frog and a 900 line. So, onward and onward, I moved on into corporate America. It was no better there. People would readily walk up to me and say things like, use your inside voice, as if somehow, as an adult, I forgot where I was. Okay, so, big voices are the only people I know that are required, no, expected to squash their natural attribute. You would never go up and say, hey, Bob, can you put some shades on those baby blues? Or, hey, Alice, can you dial back the blonde on that hair? But people would readily, anxiously assault and insult me with no regard for how it made me feel. But then I turned 40. And I had my flip it moment, right? It was flip it if you don't like what I say. Flip it if you don't like how I look. Flip it if you don't like how I sound. And what an amazing freedom I experienced. But I also had an epiphany. Those prayers and those tears that I thought were going unheard and unanswered, I was getting an answer. The answer was no. No, I'm not a mistake. No, I'm not flawed. No, I don't need to be fixed. I am just as you all are, exactly as our Creator intended me to be. big hands, big feet, okay, big heart, big smile, big voice. This is me, unapologetically. Now, remember Daytona, I said I was going to challenge you. Now, do you still think you have a big voice? Okay, then stand up for me, please. If you think you have a big voice, stand up. If you don't, if it's not your voice, it could be how you look. It could be how you talk. It could be how you worship. It could be who you love. If you have had it with conforming to someone else's concept of who and what you should be, stand up for me, Daytona. Stand up for me. Say these 3 words. Say these 3 words. This is me. Let me hear it. This is me. One more time like you mean it. This is me. One more time. This is me. Yes. Give yourself a hand. And without any apology, thank you, Daytona. Thank you for letting me share my story with you.